All right, here's what you need to know. The adrenal glands are absolute powerhouses. They don't just manage stress, they regulate your energy, metabolism, and overall resilience. But chronic stress can drain these glands, leaving your patients exhausted and out of balance. In this episode, I'm diving into electroacupuncture physiology for adrenal health. Here's what we're covering. How to use blood pressure as a quick diagnostic tool to assess adrenal function and hormone balance. Why targeting the T12L1 spinal nerves can be a game changer for calming the sympathetic nervous system and recharging adrenal function. The best frequencies for boosting voltage in adrenal-related channels, so your patients can experience lasting vitality, and much, much more. I'm Dr. Jeremy, and I help acupuncturists like you get breakthrough results with the world's most cutting-edge electroacupuncture techniques. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that button now. You don't want to miss what's next. Plus, I've included a free downloadable guide from today's episode. Grab it before you go. Sound good? Let's jump in.
Now, we're moving into the adrenal glands. You know they're super important, right? We can't live without them. They're awesome. And what's cool about the adrenal glands and spinal nerves, they're innervated by the sympathetic spinal nerves at T12L1. Every other neural link from the spinal nerves is an initial neuron going to a junction and then into the end organ. But the adrenal glands are a direct connection with that initial neural line. Remember I said that that scenario where a patient gets their wisdom teeth extracted, it puts an on signal on the T12L1 nerves going into the adrenal glands. So we have an adrenal treatment, which is T12L1 huatogagis. I like 73 hertz. It's a GABA-related frequency, but that done for 20 minutes or longer turns off that sympathetic signaling, and it also gives an awful lot of electrons directly to the tissue of the adrenal glands. They produce hormones like cortisol, which regulates metabolism, stress response, and energy production. Organs such as the adrenal glands function like batteries that store and regulate the body's voltage. When functioning optimally, adrenal glands help maintain the proper voltage needed for overall health. Depletion can come from chronic stress, but we don't have to worry about that, right? How many of our patients are chronically stressed? Now, start to think about what channel, because I'm going to ask you, what channel or channels feed the adrenal glands? Every time we get a little shock that releases a little bit of adrenaline, and we need that adrenaline for normal things like playing with kids. Shocks, traumas, even the little ones all day long, not so good. Also, emergency room physicians, they're in sympathetic overdrive in the emergency room, like, oh my God, what's going to come in? They got to be ready for everything. And then when they get home, they're still in sympathetic overdrive. They're like, what's around this kitchen cabinet? What's around that kitchen cabinet? You know, it's that sort of thing. So if voltage is too low in the affected channels, then the adrenal glands won't produce the necessary hormones for life. Adrenals and thyroid are best friends, so if you got a problem in one, you got a problem in the other, and you got to take care of both. Restoring proper voltage can oftentimes improve adrenal function and overall energy levels, but also you got to turn off that sympathetic signal that we talked about, which is a type of leak. Oh, I already taught this. They're interconnected, thyroid and adrenals. So they're affected by chemicals and pollutants, so now we're back to an immune/toxin leak. So detox, if you do high-dose cilantro, it gets rid of aluminum and mercury buildup. Now, a necessary element of adrenaline production is vitamin C. Vitamin C, humans do not produce. One of the only animals that don't produce their own source of vitamin C, almost like somewhere along the way our genetics were altered. Almost like that. So everybody should be taking vitamin C a day, right? 2,000 milligrams a day split up over 2 doses is really good. Do not take just pure ascorbic acid. It is a volatile molecule that will link with minerals, other minerals. So you can take it when it's already buffered, which means they put a mineral on there. Like, I don't like calcium ascorbate either. There's too much calcium in our diets, in our lives. But you can take magnesium ascorbate, potassium ascorbate, sodium ascorbate, any three of these. I like lipo something. It's like the liposomal, but it's super expensive. I think like $1 per 1 gram. So I just stick with sodium ascorbate, which is what they use for IV drips too. B vitamins, magnesium, all necessary for proper adrenal health. And there is some vitamin C, not as much as I'm talking about, but there is some vitamin C in that iodine plus as a cofactor. Okay, so regular monitoring of adrenal function is one way of determining adrenal function, but there's also a hormonal questionnaire in the intake form, so they fill it out and you score it and you can tell if they have an adrenal leak. Also, we can use blood pressure. Maybe I have a slide on that. Oh yeah, here. So in order for this to work, the patient shouldn't be on any blood pressure medication, right? But we can use blood pressure as a marker of adrenal function. What we are looking for in this system is 120 to 140 as the top number and 80 to 90 as the bottom number. These numbers are different than what they teach you in Western medicine, but that's what we're using. And so if the top number is less than 120, that's not enough cortisol. If the bottom number is less than 80, that's not enough adrenaline. Sometimes you can have both, for sure, one or the other. When we get to the Gucci section, we have different supplements for cortisol, adrenal portion, and different supplement for adrenaline. Sometimes you have to give them both, and what that looks like, let's say both are low, below like 110 over 70, for example. You can be, and they're not on blood pressure med, you can be pretty sure they have an adrenal leak. You need to address it with your treatments, which is the beach treatment, which I feel like doing right now and showing you with the lower voltage machine. AJ, did you bring EDOs? Let me know. And so you take these two, if both numbers are low, you take these two supplements. In the Gucci guide, you'll see I, again, refer you back to Tennant Supplies. I don't make any money from selling or promoting Tennant Supplies, but I do know how much money, time, and effort he spent to make those the highest quality supplements. Let's say they take it for 3 months. Now the top number is 125 and the bottom number 75. They come off the cortisol supplement and they stay on the other supplement. Meanwhile, you keep treating what you find. If you diagnose them with an adrenal leak 3 times in a row, and then the 4th time no more adrenal leak, you can not do that for that treatment. But we go back to every single patient gets a fresh diagnosis for every single treatment, even if it's the treatment's 2 days later. Okay, let me backtrack a little bit. So that's using blood pressure as diagnosis. Again, you're going to link it. So, oh, don't look at that. What channel feeds electricity to the adrenal gland for cellular regeneration and function? What do you think? I heard stomach spleen, right? Remember we said stomach spleen feeds the entire endocrine system. Isn't the adrenal glands endocrine? Okay. What other channel can affect the adrenal glands? I'm not going to say no to kidney, but I'm thinking of a bigger, more common category. Fire channels. Why? Well, isn't the adrenal glands influenced by the autonomic nervous system? And I went through that scenario of wisdom tooth, fire tooth extracted, failing, putting on a sympathetic signal going to the adrenal glands, and we want our patients to drop into parasympathetic, so we need to address that. Okay, let's give treatment. Well, AJ, do we have EDOs back there? Let me know. Okay, so I'm going to do the treatment with higher voltage device because I don't know where the lower voltage devices are, which means tomorrow I will show you lower voltage device setups for those of you who have EDOs, Pantheons, AWQs. Water, we're back to water being very important for adrenal glands. Cortisol gets a bad rap, but it's a major anti-inflammatory. 1 to 5 hertz will produce beta endorphin, long-lasting painkiller, endogenous opioid, 18 to 30 times more powerful than morphine, according to Wiki. and it's under our power. But what I haven't been saying is bring them out if you can. What was I saying? Oh yeah, beta endorphin in equal 1 to 5 hertz will also produce ACTH molecules, the precursor to cortisol, equimolar amounts to the beta endorphin that was produced. So right there we have 1 to 5 hertz becoming a major player in all treatments, which is why my machine's stuck at 4.6. Pain relief, we don't treat pain as acupuncturists, do we? No, we don't, because pain's just a symptom of the real diagnosis, which you all know is diagnosing the terrain of the channels, neural levels, tissues, Ichi leaks, Gucci. Stimulants like caffeine, nicotine, cocaine, methamphetamine drains the adrenal glands, wisdom tooth extractions, cavitations. I already said shock and trauma.
All right. What did you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts or answer any questions, so feel free to drop a comment below. And remember, I've put together a free downloadable guide with everything we covered today. Just check the link in the description, grab your copy, and start using these protocols in your practice. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up and feel free to share it with colleagues who'd find it useful. And, as always, for more in-depth training and resources, head over to electroacupunctureinstitute.com. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.